Immigration Chapter 1 Introduction. The Sunbelt region of the United States, which spans the southern and southwestern parts of the country, has seen a significant influx of immigrants from India and Pakistan in recent decades. The Indian and Pakistani communities have established themselves as vibrant and dynamic parts of the social, cultural, and economic fabric of the Sunbelt region. This paper will provide an overview of the immigration of Indians and Pakistanis to the Sunbelt, and explore the lives, experiences, and expectations of these communities. It will also delve into the professional profiles of these immigrants, including doctors, lawyers, and business owners. Additionally, the paper will examine eligibility for USM among Pakistani students and special funding options for Indian entrepreneurs. Understanding the experiences and contributions of Indian and Pakistani immigrants is important not only for the Sunbelt region, but also for the wider national discourse on immigration and multiculturalism. This paper seeks to contribute to this conversation by shedding light on the experiences of these communities in the Sunbelt region. Overview of the topic. The Sunbelt region of the United States has seen a significant increase in immigration from India and Pakistan in recent years. This paper aims to provide an in-depth exploration of the lives, experiences, and contributions of these communities to the region. The Sunbelt region comprises the southern and southwestern parts of the United States, and includes states such as Texas, Arizona, and Florida. This region has experienced significant economic growth in recent decades, and has become a hub for industries such as technology, finance, and healthcare. The influx of Indian and Pakistani immigrants to the Sunbelt region has played a crucial role in the region's economic growth and development. Pakistani immigration to the United States began in the 1960s, with the passage of the Immigration and Nationality Act of 1965. This act eliminated quotas that favored European immigrants and opened up opportunities for immigrants from non-European countries, including Pakistan. The first wave of Pakistani immigrants to the United States were primarily students and professionals, including doctors, engineers, and scientists. The second wave of Pakistani immigration to the United States began in the late 1970s and 1980s, and consisted of a larger number of immigrants who came for economic reasons. Many of these immigrants were skilled workers who found job opportunities in the United States. Pakistani immigrants in the Sunbelt region are primarily concentrated in cities such as Houston, Dallas, and Atlanta. Indian immigration to the United States has a longer history than Pakistani immigration, and began in the early 20th century. However, the number of Indian immigrants to the United States remained relatively small until the 1960s and 1970s. Since then, the Indian immigrant population in the United States has grown significantly, with a large number of Indian immigrants settling in the Sunbelt region. Indian immigrants in the Sunbelt region are primarily concentrated in cities such as Atlanta, Dallas, and Houston. The Indian immigrant community in the Sunbelt region is diverse, and includes professionals such as doctors, engineers, and business owners, as well as blue-collar workers. Both the Indian and Pakistani immigrant communities in the Sunbelt region have established themselves as vibrant and dynamic parts of the social, cultural, and economic fabric of the region. The next sections of this paper will delve into the lives, experiences, and contributions of these communities in more detail. Chapter 2 Pakistani Immigration to America. Pakistani immigration to the United States began in the 1960s, but it wasn't until the 1970s and 1980s that the number of Pakistani immigrants in the country began to grow significantly. The majority of early Pakistani immigrants to the United States were students and professionals, including doctors, engineers, and scientists, who were drawn to the country's high-quality education and research opportunities. The second wave of Pakistani immigration to the United States began in the late 1970s and early 1980s, and was largely driven by economic factors. Many Pakistanis were seeking better job opportunities and a higher standard of living, and found that the United States offered these opportunities. Additionally, political instability and economic turmoil in Pakistan during this time pushed many Pakistanis to seek opportunities abroad. Today, Pakistani immigrants in the United States are primarily concentrated in cities such as Houston, Dallas, and Atlanta. According to the Migration Policy Institute, there were approximately 526,000 Pakistani immigrants in the United States in 2019, making up 1.6% of the country's immigrant population. The Pakistani immigrant community in the Sunbelt region is diverse, with individuals from a variety of ethnic, linguistic, and religious backgrounds. The majority of Pakistani immigrants in the Sunbelt region are highly educated and skilled, with a large number of doctors, engineers, and other professionals. Many Pakistani immigrants in the region also own businesses, particularly in the hospitality and retail industries. Like many immigrant communities, Pakistani immigrants in the Sunbelt region face a number of challenges, including discrimination, language barriers, and difficulties navigating the immigration system. However, they have also made significant contributions to the region's economy, culture, and social fabric. One area where Pakistani immigrants have had a significant impact is in the healthcare industry. Many Pakistani immigrants in the Sunbelt region are doctors or other healthcare professionals, and have helped to fill a shortage of healthcare workers in the region. According to a report from the Migration Policy Institute, Pakistani immigrants are more likely to work in healthcare occupations than any other immigrant group in the United States. Pakistani immigrants in the Sunbelt region have also made significant contributions to the region's cultural landscape. They have established mosques, community centers, and cultural organizations, and have played an important role in promoting interfaith dialogue and understanding. Despite their contributions, Pakistani immigrants in the Sunbelt region continue to face challenges. For example, some Pakistani immigrants have reported experiencing discrimination and harassment due to their race, religion, or national origin. Additionally, the Trump administration's efforts to restrict immigration from Muslim-majority countries, including Pakistan, have created uncertainty and fear for many Pakistani immigrants and their families. One challenge that Pakistani immigrants in the Sunbelt region face is language barriers. Many Pakistani immigrants are not fluent in English, which can make it difficult for them to access important services and resources, communicate with their employers and co-workers, and fully participate in their communities. Some Pakistani immigrants also struggle to maintain their native language and cultural traditions, particularly if they live in areas with few other Pakistanis or South Asians. Another challenge that Pakistani immigrants in the Sunbelt region face is navigating the complex U.S. immigration system. The process of obtaining a visa or green card can be lengthy and complicated, and many Pakistani immigrants struggle to afford the high costs associated with hiring an immigration lawyer or paying application fees. Additionally, changes to immigration policies and procedures under the Trump administration have created uncertainty and fear for many Pakistani immigrants and their families. Despite these challenges, many Pakistani immigrants in the Sunbelt region have found success and prosperity. Pakistani immigrants are among the highest-earning immigrant groups in the United States, with a median household income of $75,000 in 2018, according to the Migration Policy Institute. Pakistani immigrants are also more likely to be naturalized U.S. citizens than other immigrant groups, with a naturalization rate of 61%, compared to a national average of 50%. Pakistani immigrants in the Sunbelt region are also actively involved in their communities, both within and outside of the Pakistani diaspora. Many Pakistani immigrants participate in interfaith dialogue and community service initiatives, and work to promote understanding and tolerance between different religious and ethnic groups. In recent years, Pakistani immigrants in the Sunbelt region have also faced increased scrutiny and suspicion due to their perceived association with terrorism. Following the 9/11 terrorist attacks, many Pakistani immigrants were subject to racial profiling and discrimination, and some were detained and deported without due process. More recently, the Trump administration's efforts to restrict immigration from Muslim-majority countries, including Pakistan, have led to increased scrutiny of Pakistani immigrants and their families. Despite these challenges, Pakistani immigrants in the Sunbelt region continue to make significant contributions to their communities and to the United States as a whole. They bring with them a rich cultural heritage and a strong work ethic, and are committed to building a better future for themselves and their families. When did Pakistanis start coming to America? The first known Pakistani immigrants arrived in the United States in the early 20th century, primarily as students or political activists. However, large-scale Pakistani immigration to the United States did not occur until the 1960s and 1970s. One key factor that led to the increase in Pakistani immigration during this time period was the passage of the Immigration and Nationality Act of 1965, which abolished the quota system that had previously restricted immigration from non-European countries. This change in immigration policy made it easier for skilled professionals from countries like Pakistan to immigrate to the United States. Another factor that contributed to the increase in Pakistani immigration during the 1960s and 1970s was the economic and political instability in Pakistan at the time. Many skilled professionals, including doctors, engineers, and business people, were seeking better opportunities and a more stable political environment, and the United States offered a promising destination for those looking to immigrate. Over the years, Pakistani immigrants have settled in various parts of the United States, including the Sunbelt region. The largest population of Pakistani immigrants in the United States is located in the New York City metropolitan area, followed by the Chicago metropolitan area and the Houston metropolitan area. However, there are also sizable Pakistani communities in cities such as Atlanta, Dallas, and Phoenix. Overall, Pakistani immigration to the United States has had a significant impact on both Pakistani communities in the United States and on the United States as a whole. Pakistani immigrants have contributed to various fields, including medicine, technology, and business, and have helped to build vibrant and diverse communities across the country. Lives before migration. Before Pakistani immigrants in the Sunbelt region made the decision to migrate to the United States, many of them had vastly different lives and experiences in Pakistan. Some were professionals with established careers, while others were students or recent graduates looking for new opportunities. Many had families and social networks that they had to leave behind when they made the decision to immigrate to the United States. One common theme among Pakistani immigrants in the Sunbelt region is the desire for a better life for themselves and their families. Many immigrants were attracted to the United States by the promise of higher wages and greater opportunities for professional and personal growth. In some cases, they were also seeking political stability and freedom from persecution in Pakistan. However, the decision to leave one's home country and move to a new and unfamiliar place can be difficult and stressful. Many Pakistani immigrants faced numerous challenges before they were able to successfully immigrate to the United States, including navigating the complex U.S. immigration system, learning a new language and culture, and adjusting to new social and economic environments. Additionally, many Pakistani immigrants in the Sunbelt region had to leave behind friends and family members when they immigrated to the United States. This separation can be difficult, particularly for those who left behind spouses or children. In some cases, families have been separated for years as immigrants work to establish themselves in the United States and obtain legal residency for their family members. Despite these challenges, many Pakistani immigrants in the Sunbelt region have been able to build successful and fulfilling lives in the United States. They have established businesses, bought homes, and raised families, while also maintaining strong connections to their Pakistani heritage and culture. For many, the sacrifices made to immigrate to the United States have been worth it, as they are able to provide better opportunities for themselves and their families in their new home. Lives, experiences, and expectations. The lives, experiences, and expectations of Pakistani immigrants in the Sunbelt region vary widely, depending on their individual circumstances and backgrounds. However, there are certain common experiences and expectations that many Pakistani immigrants share. One common experience for Pakistani immigrants in the Sunbelt region is the process of adapting to a new culture and way of life. Many immigrants face significant challenges when they first arrive in the United States, including language barriers, cultural differences, and a lack of social and professional networks. They may also experience discrimination and racism, particularly in the early years after their arrival. However, despite these challenges, many Pakistani immigrants in the Sunbelt region are able to establish themselves and build fulfilling lives in the United States. They often rely on the support of family members, friends, and community organizations to help them navigate the complex process of integrating into American society. Another common expectation for Pakistani immigrants in the Sunbelt region is the desire for upward mobility and economic stability. Many immigrants come to the United States seeking better job opportunities and higher wages than they could find in Pakistan. They may work long hours and take on multiple jobs in order to support their families and achieve their financial goals. In addition to economic stability, many Pakistani immigrants in the Sunbelt region also have high expectations for education and career advancement. They often encourage their children to pursue higher education and professional careers, as they see these as key factors in achieving success and stability in the United States. Finally, many Pakistani immigrants in the Sunbelt region maintain strong connections to their Pakistani heritage and culture. They may participate in community events and organizations, celebrate traditional holidays and festivals, and speak their native language at home. These connections help to provide a sense of continuity and belonging in a new and unfamiliar environment. Overall, the lives, experiences, and expectations of Pakistani immigrants in the Sunbelt region are shaped by a complex mix of cultural, economic, and social factors. While each individual's experience is unique, many share a common desire for upward mobility and stability, as well as a commitment to maintaining their cultural identity and heritage. Doctors, lawyers, and business professionals are among the most common career paths for Pakistani immigrants in the Sunbelt region. Many Pakistani immigrants come to the United States with advanced degrees and professional training, and they are able to leverage these skills to build successful careers in a variety of fields. One of the most popular professions for Pakistani immigrants in the Sunbelt region is medicine. Many Pakistani immigrants are highly trained doctors and medical professionals, and they are able to find work in hospitals, clinics, and private practices throughout the region. In some cases, Pakistani immigrants may also establish their own medical practices, leveraging their professional expertise and entrepreneurial skills to build successful businesses. Another popular profession for Pakistani immigrants in the Sunbelt region is law. Many Pakistani immigrants have advanced law degrees and professional training, and they are able to work as attorneys, judges, and legal professionals in a variety of settings. In some cases, Pakistani immigrants may also establish their own law practices, specializing in areas such as immigration law, family law, or business law. In addition to medicine and law, many Pakistani immigrants in the Sunbelt region are also successful business professionals. They may start their own businesses, such as restaurants, convenience stores, or import/export companies, leveraging their entrepreneurial skills and business acumen to achieve success. Alternatively, they may work in a variety of industries, including finance, technology, and real estate, using their skills and expertise to advance in their chosen field. Regardless of their chosen profession, Pakistani immigrants in the Sunbelt region often face unique challenges as they navigate the American workplace. They may encounter discrimination or bias based on their race or nationality, and they may struggle to establish professional networks and connections in a new and unfamiliar environment. However, with hard work and determination, many Pakistani immigrants are able to overcome these challenges and build successful careers in the United States. Indian immigration to America. It's worth noting that the success of Pakistani immigrants in these professions is due in large part to their strong work ethic and commitment to education. Education is highly valued in Pakistani culture, and many Pakistani immigrants come to the United States with advanced degrees and professional training. This education provides them with the skills and expertise needed to succeed in a variety of fields, from medicine and law to business and finance. In addition to education and professional training, Pakistani immigrants in the Sunbelt region also rely on strong networks of family and community support. These networks help to provide a sense of continuity and belonging in a new and unfamiliar environment, and they provide critical social and economic support as immigrants work to establish themselves in their new homes. One area where Pakistani immigrants in the Sunbelt region have made significant contributions is in the healthcare industry. Many Pakistani immigrants are highly trained medical professionals, and they are able to provide critical healthcare services to communities throughout the region. They may work in hospitals, clinics, or private practices, providing a wide range of medical services to patients of all backgrounds. In addition to providing medical care, Pakistani immigrants in the Sunbelt region also play an important role in addressing health disparities and improving access to health care for underserved communities. They may work with community organizations and public health agencies to develop and implement health education programs, outreach initiatives, and other initiatives aimed at improving health outcomes for all members of the community. Chapter 3 Indian Immigration to America Overview of Indian Immigration to America. Indian immigration to America has been a significant demographic trend since the early 20th century. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, there were over 4 million Indian immigrants living in the United States in 2020, making them the second largest immigrant group after Mexican immigrants. Indian immigrants have made significant contributions to American society in fields such as technology, medicine, and business. Lives before migration. Indian immigrants to America come from a diverse array of cultural and socio-economic backgrounds. Many come from urban areas and have received higher education in India, while others come from rural areas and may have less formal education. Indian immigrants may be seeking better economic opportunities, escaping political instability, or pursuing higher education in the United States. Lives, experiences, and expectations. Indian immigrants to America face unique challenges as they adapt to a new culture and navigate a new social and economic landscape. They may encounter cultural barriers, discrimination, and bias based on their race or nationality. However, many Indian immigrants are able to overcome these challenges and establish themselves in their new home. In terms of experiences and expectations, Indian immigrants to America are known for their strong work ethic and emphasis on education. Many Indian immigrants pursue advanced degrees and professional training, and they are often highly skilled in fields such as engineering, medicine, and finance. Indian immigrants may also rely on strong networks of family and community support to help them adapt to their new environment and establish themselves in their new communities. Doctors, lawyers, business. Similar to Pakistani immigrants, many Indian immigrants to America pursue careers in medicine, law, and business. Indian immigrants are highly represented in fields such as information technology, engineering, and finance, and they have established successful businesses in a wide range of industries. They may start their own companies, provide consulting services, or work in a variety of fields such as hospitality, retail, and healthcare. In terms of healthcare, Indian immigrants have made significant contributions to the medical field in the United States. Many Indian immigrants are highly trained medical professionals, and they have established themselves as leading experts in fields such as cardiology, oncology, and neurology. They may work in hospitals, clinics, or private practices, providing critical medical care to patients of all backgrounds. In the legal field, Indian immigrants are highly represented as attorneys, judges, and legal professionals. They may work in a variety of areas such as immigration law, family law, or corporate law, providing critical legal services to clients throughout the country. Overall, Indian immigrants to America have made significant contributions to American society and have established themselves as a vital and dynamic part of the country's social and economic fabric. While they face unique challenges as immigrants in a new and unfamiliar environment, they are able to overcome these challenges and build successful lives for themselves and their families. In addition to pursuing careers in medicine, law, and business, Indian immigrants have also made significant contributions to other fields in the United States. In the arts, for example, Indian immigrants have brought their unique cultural perspectives and talents to American audiences. Indian musicians, dancers, and visual artists have gained recognition and acclaim in the United States, enriching the country's cultural landscape. Indian immigrants have also made significant contributions to academia, with many Indian immigrants holding faculty positions at universities and research institutions throughout the country. They have made important contributions to a wide range of fields, from mathematics and engineering to literature and philosophy. However, Indian immigrants have also faced challenges and obstacles in the United States. Like many immigrant communities, they have experienced discrimination and prejudice based on their race, ethnicity, and religion. They may struggle to find acceptance and belonging in a new country, and may face barriers to advancement in their careers. Despite these challenges, Indian immigrants have persevered and made significant contributions to American society. They have enriched the country's culture, economy, and intellectual life, and have helped to shape the diverse and dynamic society that the United States is today. Chapter 4: Eligibility for USML for Pakistani students. The United States Medical Licensing Examination, USML, is a three-step examination that is required for individuals who want to practice medicine in the United States. The USML is administered by the National Board of Medical Examiners, NBME, and the Federation of State Medical Boards, FSMB. Pakistani students who want to pursue a career in medicine in the United States must meet certain eligibility requirements to take the USML. To be eligible to take the USML, Pakistani students must meet the following criteria: they must have completed the necessary medical education requirements in Pakistan or in another country. They must be a medical student, a graduate of a medical school, or a physician who is seeking licensure in the United States. They must be able to provide documentation that shows they have met the necessary requirements for medical education and training. They must have an Educational Commission for Foreign Medical Graduates, ECFG, certificate, which is required for international medical graduates to obtain medical licensure in the United States. Once Pakistani students have met these eligibility requirements, they can register for the USML and begin the process of preparing for the examination. The USML is a challenging examination that requires a significant amount of preparation and study, and Pakistani students must be prepared to dedicate the time and effort necessary to succeed. While the USML can be a challenging process, it is an important step for Pakistani students who want to pursue a career in medicine in the United States. By successfully passing the USML and obtaining medical licensure, Pakistani students can open up new opportunities for themselves and contribute to the medical field in the United States. In addition to meeting the eligibility requirements for the USML, Pakistani students may also face other challenges when pursuing a career in medicine in the United States. One of the biggest challenges that Pakistani students may face is the cultural differences between Pakistan and the United States. The two countries have different medical systems, different medical practices, and different medical cultures, which can make it difficult for Pakistani students to adjust to the American medical system. Another challenge that Pakistani students may face is the language barrier. Although many Pakistani students are fluent in English, they may still struggle with the medical terminology used in the United States. The USML is conducted in English, and Pakistani students must be able to understand and communicate medical concepts in English to successfully pass the examination. Despite these challenges, many Pakistani students have successfully pursued careers in medicine in the United States. Pakistani physicians have made significant contributions to the medical field in the United States, and many have gained recognition for their research and clinical work. In addition to medicine, Pakistani immigrants have also made significant contributions to other fields in the United States. Pakistani entrepreneurs and business owners have started successful businesses in a variety of industries, including technology, finance, and hospitality. Pakistani academics and researchers have made important contributions to a wide range of fields, including science, engineering, and social sciences. Like Indian immigrants, Pakistani immigrants have also faced discrimination and prejudice in the United States. They may face challenges in finding acceptance and belonging in a new country, and may encounter barriers to advancement in their careers. To address these challenges, many Pakistani immigrants have formed community organizations and advocacy groups to support one another and to promote the interests of the Pakistani American community. These organizations provide a range of services and support to Pakistani immigrants, including legal assistance, language classes, and cultural events. Overall, Pakistani and Indian immigration to the United States has had a significant impact on American society. These communities have enriched American culture, contributed to the country's economic growth, and helped to shape the diverse and dynamic society that the United States is today. Despite the challenges they face, Pakistani and Indian immigrants have demonstrated resilience, determination, and a commitment to excellence, and have made significant contributions to the United States in a wide range of fields. One area where Pakistani and Indian immigrants have made significant contributions is in the field of education. Both communities have a strong tradition of valuing education and placing a high priority on academic achievement. As a result, Pakistani and Indian students have excelled in American universities and have gone on to make important contributions in a variety of fields. In addition to their academic achievements, Pakistani and Indian immigrants have also made significant contributions to American society through their cultural and artistic expressions. Pakistani and Indian music, dance, and cuisine have become increasingly popular in the United States, and have helped to introduce American audiences to the rich and diverse cultural traditions of South Asia. The contributions of Pakistani and Indian immigrants to the United States are a testament to the power of immigration to enrich and transform societies. Through their hard work, perseverance, and dedication, Pakistani and Indian immigrants have demonstrated the importance of embracing diversity and promoting inclusion in all aspects of American life. However, it is important to acknowledge that Pakistani and Indian immigrants, like all immigrants, have faced significant challenges and barriers in their pursuit of the American dream. Discrimination, prejudice, and unequal opportunities have all posed significant obstacles to the full participation of Pakistani and Indian immigrants in American society. To address these challenges, it is important for American society to continue to promote policies and practices that support the full inclusion and integration of immigrants from all backgrounds. This includes policies that provide access to education, healthcare, and other essential services, as well as policies that protect the rights and dignity of all individuals, regardless of their race, ethnicity, or national origin. By embracing diversity and promoting inclusion, the United States can continue to benefit from the many contributions of Pakistani and Indian immigrants, as well as immigrants from all over the world. Together, we can build a more vibrant, resilient, and equitable society for all. Overview of USML. The United States Medical Licensing Examination, USML, is a three-step examination process that is required for all physicians seeking to practice medicine in the United States. The USML is a computer-based examination that tests the knowledge, skills, and abilities necessary for the safe and effective practice of medicine. The USML is sponsored by the Federation of State Medical Boards, FSMB, and the National Board of Medical Examiners, NBME. The examination is divided into three parts, each of which is designed to assess different aspects of a physician's knowledge and abilities. Step 1 of the USML is designed to test the foundational knowledge of medical students and recent graduates. The exam covers a broad range of topics, including anatomy, biochemistry, pharmacology, pathology, and microbiology. The exam consists of 280 multiple-choice questions and is typically taken during the second year of medical school. Step 2 of the USML is divided into two parts, clinical knowledge, CK, and clinical skills, CS. Step 2 CK tests a physician's knowledge of clinical diagnosis and management, while Step 2 CS tests a physician's ability to perform a physical examination and communicate effectively with patients. Step 2 CK consists of 318 multiple-choice questions and is typically taken during the fourth year of medical school. Step 2 CS is a practical examination that tests a physician's clinical skills and is typically taken after graduation from medical school. Step 3 of the USML is designed to test a physician's ability to apply medical knowledge and skills in the care of patients. The exam covers a wide range of topics, including diagnosis, treatment, and management of patients with complex medical conditions. Step 3 consists of 233 multiple-choice questions and is typically taken during the first or second year of residency. In order to be eligible to take the USMLE, physicians must have completed medical school or a comparable medical education program. Additionally, physicians must be graduates of a medical school that is listed in the World Directory of Medical Schools or the International Medical Education Directory. Overall, the USMLE is an essential part of the process for physicians seeking to practice medicine in the United States. By testing a physician's knowledge, skills, and abilities, the USMLE helps to ensure that physicians are well prepared to provide safe and effective care to patients. The USMLE is a rigorous examination process that requires significant preparation and study. In order to successfully pass each step of the exam, physicians must have a strong foundation in the basic sciences as well as clinical diagnosis and management. Many medical students and physicians utilize a variety of study resources to prepare for the USMLE. These resources may include review books, online question banks, and in-person or online review courses. Some medical schools also offer dedicated USMLE preparation courses to help students prepare for the exam. One of the challenges of the USMLE is that it is a high-stakes examination that can significantly impact a physician's career trajectory. A high score on the USMLE can open up opportunities for competitive residency programs and ultimately lead to more desirable job opportunities. Conversely, a low score on the USMLE can limit a physician's options and may require additional study or retakes of the exam. In recent years, there has been some controversy surrounding the USMLE and its impact on physician training and career opportunities. Some have argued that the USMLE places an undue burden on medical students and residents and that the exam does not accurately reflect a physician's true abilities. In response to these concerns, the FSMB and the NBME have made some changes to the USMLE in recent years. For example, the Step 2 CS exam was temporarily suspended in 2020 due to concerns about the safety of in-person testing during the COVID-19 pandemic. The exam was subsequently permanently suspended in 2021, and the FSMB and NBME are currently exploring alternative methods for assessing clinical skills. Overall, the USMLE remains an important part of the process for physicians seeking to practice medicine in the United States. While the exam is challenging and requires significant preparation, a strong performance on the USMLE can help to open up opportunities for physicians to provide safe and effective care to patients. Eligibility criteria for Pakistani students. In order to be eligible to take the USMLE as a Pakistani medical student, there are several criteria that must be met. First and foremost, students must be enrolled in a medical school that is recognized by the World Directory of Medical Schools. This is a global directory of medical schools that have been deemed to meet certain educational standards, and is maintained by the World Federation for Medical Education, WFME. Additionally, students must have completed their medical education, or be in their final year of medical school, in order to be eligible to take the USMLE. This means that students must have successfully completed all of the required coursework and clinical rotations in order to be considered for the exam. Once these criteria are met, Pakistani students must then apply to take the USMLE through the Educational Commission for Foreign Medical Graduates, ECMG. The ECMG is a non-profit organization that is responsible for certifying international medical graduates for eligibility to take the USMLE and to participate in residency programs in the United States. As part of the application process, Pakistani students must provide documentation of their medical education, including transcripts and diplomas. They must also provide proof of English language proficiency, typically through a score on the Test of English as a Foreign Language, TOEFL, or the International English Language Testing System, IELTS. Once the application is approved, Pakistani students must then register for each step of the USMLE and pay the associated fees. They must also schedule a testing date and location for each exam through the Prometric Testing Center. It is important to note that the eligibility criteria for the USMLE can be complex and may vary depending on the specific circumstances of each individual student. It is therefore important for Pakistani students to carefully review the eligibility requirements and application process before applying to take the USML. Additionally, students may benefit from seeking guidance and support from their medical school or from organizations such as the ECM to help navigate the application process. In addition to the basic eligibility criteria, Pakistani students may also need to meet additional requirements depending on which step of the USML they are planning to take. For example, Step 2 of the USML has two components: clinical knowledge, CK, and clinical skills, CS. In order to be eligible to take the CS component, students must have completed at least 2 years of medical school at a school that is listed in the World Directory of Medical Schools, and must have passed the Step 1 exam. Furthermore, Pakistani students who have completed their medical education in a language other than English may also need to demonstrate their proficiency in medical terminology in English in order to be eligible to take the USML. This can be done by passing an English language proficiency exam, such as the International English Language Testing System, IELTS, or the Test of English as a Foreign Language, TOEFL. Overall, while the eligibility criteria for the USML can be complex, it is important for Pakistani medical students who are interested in practicing medicine in the United States to carefully review the requirements and take the necessary steps to become eligible to take the exam. The USML is a critical component of the process for obtaining medical licensure in the United States, and passing the exam is a key step towards achieving this goal. By understanding the eligibility criteria and seeking guidance and support when necessary, Pakistani medical students can take the necessary steps to achieve their goal of practicing medicine in the United States. Chapter 5: Special Funding for Business for Indians in the United States. There are various funding opportunities available for entrepreneurs and small business owners, regardless of their nationality or ethnic background. However, there are no specific funding programs that are exclusively available to Indian entrepreneurs. That being said, there are several organizations that offer funding and resources specifically for minority-owned businesses, which may include Indian-owned businesses. For example, the Minority Business Development Agency, MBDA, which is part of the U.S. Department of Commerce, provides various services to support minority-owned businesses, including access to capital, business consulting, and training programs. The MBDA also has a network of business centers located throughout the country that can provide assistance to minority-owned businesses. In addition to government programs, there are also several private organizations and foundations that offer funding and resources to minority-owned businesses. For example, the National Minority Supplier Development Council, NMSDC, provides certification and networking opportunities for minority-owned businesses, and has partnerships with various corporations that can lead to business opportunities and potential funding. It is also worth noting that there are various crowdfunding platforms available that can be used to raise capital for a business. Crowdfunding involves soliciting small contributions from a large number of individuals, typically through an online platform. This can be a viable option for Indian entrepreneurs who are looking to start a business, as it can provide access to funding without the need to go through traditional lending channels. Overall, while there are no specific funding programs that are exclusively available to Indian entrepreneurs, there are several resources and programs that can provide support to minority-owned businesses. By leveraging these resources, Indian entrepreneurs can access the funding and support they need to start and grow successful businesses in the United States. Another potential avenue for Indian entrepreneurs to secure funding is through venture capital, VC, firms. VC firms typically invest in early-stage businesses that have high growth potential, and can provide the capital and resources needed to help a business scale quickly. While VC funding can be highly competitive, and may require significant time and effort to secure, it can be a powerful tool for Indian entrepreneurs who are looking to build and grow their businesses in the United States. One challenge that Indian entrepreneurs may face when seeking VC funding is a lack of connections and networks in the United States. Building relationships with VC firms and other investors can be a time-consuming and challenging process, and may require significant effort to establish credibility and trust. However, there are several resources available to Indian entrepreneurs who are looking to build their networks and connect with potential investors. For example, there are several organizations and networks that cater specifically to Indian entrepreneurs and startups. These include organizations such as the Indus Entrepreneurs, which is a global network of entrepreneurs and investors that provides networking opportunities, mentorship, and other resources to Indian entrepreneurs. Additionally, there are several Indian-focused VC firms, such as Nexus Venture Partners and Excel Partners, that may be particularly interested in investing in Indian startups. Another option for Indian entrepreneurs seeking funding is to participate in startup accelerators and incubators. These programs typically provide funding, mentorship, and resources to early-stage businesses, and can help entrepreneurs to develop their businesses and connect with potential investors. There are several accelerators and incubators that are specifically focused on Indian startups, including the Indian Angel Network and the Global Accelerator Network Scan India program. In addition to these resources, Indian entrepreneurs can also leverage their unique cultural background and experience to differentiate themselves and their businesses in the U.S. market. For example, Indian entrepreneurs may have a deep understanding of Indian culture, markets, and consumer preferences, which can give them a competitive advantage in developing products and services that cater to the Indian diaspora in the United States. Similarly, Indian entrepreneurs may have experience working with Indian businesses and investors, which can help them to build partnerships and secure funding in the United States. Another potential source of funding for Indian entrepreneurs in the United States is through government programs and initiatives. The U.S. government offers a range of funding programs and grants that are designed to support small businesses and startups, including those led by minority entrepreneurs. One such program is the Small Business Innovation Research (SBIR) program, which provides funding to small businesses that are engaged in research and development activities in areas such as healthcare, energy, and defense. The program is administered by several government agencies, including the National Science Foundation, NSF, the Department of Energy, DOE, and the Department of Defense, DOD. Indian entrepreneurs who are working on innovative technologies and solutions in these areas may be eligible to apply for SBIR funding. Another government program that may be of interest to Indian entrepreneurs is the Minority Business Development Agency, MBDA. The MBDA is a federal agency that is dedicated to promoting the growth and development of minority-owned businesses in the United States. The agency provides a range of services and resources to minority entrepreneurs, including access to funding, business consulting, and training and education programs. In addition to these government programs, there are also several private foundations and organizations that offer funding and support to Indian entrepreneurs. For example, the India's Pora Business Leaders Forum is a non-profit organization that is focused on supporting Indian entrepreneurs and business leaders in the United States. The organization provides networking opportunities, mentorship, and funding support to Indian entrepreneurs who are looking to start or grow their businesses. Similarly, the American India Foundation, AIF, is a non-profit organization that is dedicated to promoting economic and social development in India and the United States. The organization provides funding and support to Indian entrepreneurs who are working on innovative solutions in areas such as healthcare, education, and agriculture. While there are several funding options available to Indian entrepreneurs in the United States, it is important to note that securing funding can be a challenging and competitive process. In order to maximize their chances of success, Indian entrepreneurs should be prepared to invest significant time and effort in developing their businesses and building relationships with potential investors and funding sources. Additionally, Indian entrepreneurs should be prepared to differentiate themselves and their businesses from the competition, and to highlight their unique strengths and advantages. Overview of funding options for Indian entrepreneurs. Indian entrepreneurs looking to start or grow their businesses in the United States have access to a range of funding options. These options include traditional bank loans, venture capital, angel investment, crowdfunding, government programs and initiatives, and private foundations and organizations. One of the most common sources of funding for Indian entrepreneurs is through traditional bank loans. This type of funding typically requires collateral and a strong credit score, but can be a good option for those who have a solid business plan and a track record of success. Another option for Indian entrepreneurs is venture capital. Venture capitalists are typically interested in investing in high-growth businesses with the potential for significant returns. While venture capital can be a good source of funding for Indian entrepreneurs, it can also be a challenging and competitive process, requiring extensive networking and pitching skills. Angel investment is another option for Indian entrepreneurs. Angels are typically high-net-worth individuals who invest in early-stage startups in exchange for equity. Like venture capital, angel investment can be a competitive process, but can also provide valuable mentorship and networking opportunities for Indian entrepreneurs. Crowdfunding is a relatively new source of funding for Indian entrepreneurs. Crowdfunding platforms such as Kickstarter and Indiegogo allow entrepreneurs to raise funds from a large pool of individual investors. While crowdfunding can be a good option for Indian entrepreneurs with a compelling product or idea, it can also be difficult to stand out from the crowd and attract significant investment. In addition to these traditional sources of funding, Indian entrepreneurs in the United States can also take advantage of several government programs and initiatives. These programs include the Small Business Administration, SBA, loans and grants, as well as programs targeted at minority entrepreneurs and those in certain industries. Finally, Indian entrepreneurs can also seek funding from private foundations and organizations. These include nonprofits such as the India's Pora Business Leaders Forum and the American India Foundation, as well as for-profit organizations that provide funding and support to entrepreneurs. Overall, Indian entrepreneurs in the United States have access to a range of funding options, each with its own advantages and disadvantages. By exploring the various options available and developing a strong business plan, Indian entrepreneurs can increase their chances of securing funding and achieving their goals of entrepreneurship and innovation. When it comes to accessing funding options for their business ventures, Indian entrepreneurs have several advantages. First, Indian entrepreneurs often have a strong work ethic and are highly motivated to succeed. They also tend to be well educated, with many holding advanced degrees in engineering, technology, and other fields. In addition, Indian entrepreneurs often come from a culture of entrepreneurship and innovation. India has a long history of entrepreneurship, dating back centuries, and this tradition has continued into the modern era. As a result, many Indian entrepreneurs bring a unique perspective and approach to their businesses, which can be highly appealing to investors and lenders. However, there are also challenges that Indian entrepreneurs may face when trying to access funding in the United States. One of the biggest challenges is cultural and linguistic differences. Many Indian entrepreneurs may struggle with the nuances of American business culture, including networking, pitching, and negotiating deals. They may also face language barriers, which can make it difficult to communicate effectively with investors and lenders. Another challenge for Indian entrepreneurs is the perception that they are primarily focused on technology and software development. While many Indian entrepreneurs do have expertise in these areas, there is a growing diversity of businesses being started by Indians in the U.S. These include businesses in healthcare, finance, retail, and other sectors. However, some investors and lenders may still have a bias towards technology-focused businesses, which can make it difficult for Indian entrepreneurs to secure funding for other types of ventures. Despite these challenges, there are many success stories of Indian entrepreneurs who have been able to access funding and grow their businesses in the United States. For example, Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft, is an Indian immigrant who rose through the ranks at the company before becoming its leader in 2014. Similarly, Vinod Khosla, the founder of venture capital firm Khosla Ventures, is an Indian immigrant who has had a significant impact on the tech industry in the United States. There are also many organizations and resources available to support Indian entrepreneurs in the United States. These include networking groups such as TI, the Indus Entrepreneurs, which provides mentorship, funding, and networking opportunities to entrepreneurs from the Indian subcontinent. Other resources include government programs and initiatives, such as the Minority Business Development Agency and the SBA's Office of International Trade, which provide support and resources to minority-owned businesses. Private foundations and organizations also play an important role in supporting Indian entrepreneurs. The India's Pora Business Leaders Forum, for example, is a non-profit organization that brings together Indian American entrepreneurs and business leaders to promote collaboration, mentorship, and investment opportunities. Similarly, the American India Foundation provides funding and support to entrepreneurs in India and the United States. Potential sources of special funding for Indian businesses. There are a number of potential sources of special funding for Indian businesses in the United States, including both private and public sources. Some of the most important sources of funding for Indian entrepreneurs include government grants and loans. One potential source of funding for Indian entrepreneurs in the United States is government grants and loans. The U.S. Small Business Administration, SBA, provides a range of programs and services to help small businesses, including those owned by Indian entrepreneurs, access funding. These include loans, grants, and other forms of financial assistance. Private equity and venture capital. Private equity and venture capital firms are another important source of funding for Indian businesses. These firms typically invest in early-stage startups that have the potential to grow quickly and become successful. Indian entrepreneurs may be able to attract investment from private equity and venture capital firms if they have a strong business plan and a promising idea. Angel investors. Angel investors are individuals who provide funding to early-stage startups in exchange for equity in the company. These investors may be able to provide Indian entrepreneurs with the capital they need to get their businesses off the ground. Crowdfunding. Crowdfunding is another potential source of funding for Indian entrepreneurs. This involves raising money from a large number of people, often through online platforms such as Kickstarter or Indiegogo. Crowdfunding can be a good way for Indian entrepreneurs to raise capital without giving up equity in their companies. Incubators and accelerators. Incubators and accelerators are organizations that provide support and resources to early-stage startups. They may offer funding, mentorship, and other forms of assistance to help Indian entrepreneurs grow their businesses. Corporate partnerships. Finally, Indian entrepreneurs may be able to secure funding through partnerships with larger corporations. These partnerships may involve investments or collaborations that can help the Indian businesses grow and succeed. In addition to the sources of funding listed above, there are a few other potential avenues that Indian entrepreneurs may be able to explore. For example, some universities and research institutions offer funding programs for startups that are based on new technologies or innovations. These programs may be open to Indian entrepreneurs who are working on cutting-edge ideas and are looking for support to help bring their ideas to market. Another potential source of funding for Indian entrepreneurs is through partnerships with non-profit organizations or social impact funds. These organizations may be interested in supporting Indian entrepreneurs who are working on projects that have a positive social impact, such as those focused on improving access to education or health care. Social impact funds may be particularly interested in supporting businesses that are focused on underserved communities or on addressing environmental challenges. Finally, Indian entrepreneurs may also be able to explore international funding options, such as those offered by organizations like the World Bank or the International Finance Corporation, IFC. These organizations provide funding and support to businesses in developing countries, and may be able to help Indian entrepreneurs access the capital they need to grow their businesses. Of course, securing funding for a startup is not always easy, and Indian entrepreneurs will need to be prepared to put in the time and effort required to attract investors and build relationships with potential partners. This may involve developing a compelling business plan, building a strong network of contacts in the business community, and being persistent in seeking out funding opportunities. However, with the right strategy and approach, Indian entrepreneurs can increase their chances of securing the funding they need to succeed in the competitive U.S. market. By taking advantage of the many potential sources of special funding available to them, they can build successful businesses that contribute to the U.S. economy and create opportunities for themselves and their communities. When it comes to finding funding for their startups, Indian entrepreneurs have a number of options available to them. While traditional sources of funding like venture capital and angel investment can be effective, there are also a range of special funding programs available that can be particularly beneficial for Indian entrepreneurs who are just starting out. One example of a special funding program that may be of interest to Indian entrepreneurs is the Small Business Administration's 8A program. This program is designed to help small businesses owned by disadvantaged individuals, including those who are of Indian descent, to access federal contracts and secure funding for their businesses. To qualify for the program, businesses must be majority owned by an individual who is considered to be socially or economically disadvantaged, which can include individuals who are of Indian descent. Another potential source of funding for Indian entrepreneurs is the Minority Business Development Agency, MBDA, which is a federal agency that provides support and resources to businesses owned by individuals from minority communities, including those of Indian descent. The MBDA offers a range of services to help businesses grow, including technical assistance, access to funding opportunities, and connections to potential partners and customers. In addition to these federal programs, there are also a number of state and local initiatives that may be of interest to Indian entrepreneurs. For example, some states have established specific funds or programs to support small businesses owned by minorities or women, and these programs may be open to Indian entrepreneurs who meet the eligibility requirements. Some local governments may also offer grants or other forms of support to businesses that are focused on developing specific industries or creating jobs in their communities. One potential downside to these special funding programs is that they may have more stringent eligibility requirements than traditional sources of funding, and may be more competitive as a result. Indian entrepreneurs who are interested in applying for these programs will need to be prepared to meet the eligibility requirements and submit a strong application that highlights the unique value proposition of their business. Despite these challenges, however, there are many examples of Indian entrepreneurs who have been successful in securing special funding for their startups. For example, Ranjam Consultants, a New Jersey-based staffing firm that is owned by an Indian American woman, was able to secure a $3 million contract through the SBA's 8A program. Similarly, Rajesh Jyotishi, the founder of a California-based technology company called HCL Technologies, was able to secure funding from the MBDA and other sources to help grow his business. Ultimately, the key to success for Indian entrepreneurs who are seeking special funding is to be persistent, patient, and prepared. By taking the time to research potential funding sources, build relationships with investors and partners, and develop a strong business plan that highlights the unique value of their business, Indian entrepreneurs can increase their chances of securing the funding they need to grow and succeed in the competitive U.S. market. Chapter 6 Conclusion. In conclusion, both Indian and Pakistani immigrants have had a significant impact on the United States, particularly in the areas of medicine, law, and business. Pakistani immigrants began arriving in the U.S. in significant numbers in the 1960s, seeking opportunities for higher education and professional advancement. Indian immigrants, on the other hand, began coming to the U.S. in larger numbers after the passage of the Immigration and Nationality Act of 1965, which abolished quotas based on national origin. Despite facing various challenges, such as cultural barriers and discrimination, both communities have found success and have made significant contributions to American society. Many Pakistani and Indian immigrants have become highly skilled professionals, including doctors, lawyers, and business owners, and have enriched the country with their talents and expertise. Furthermore, the USML has provided an opportunity for Pakistani medical students to achieve their career goals in the U.S. The eligibility criteria and exam structure are designed to ensure that only the most qualified individuals are allowed to practice medicine in the U.S., and the rigorous training and testing process ensures that doctors are well prepared to provide quality medical care. Moreover, Indian entrepreneurs have access to various funding options to start and grow their businesses in the U.S. The government and private organizations provide several grants and loans to encourage entrepreneurship among Indians and help them realize their business dreams. Overall, the success of both Indian and Pakistani immigrants in America is a testament to the opportunities available in the U.S. and the talent and hard work of these communities. As the U.S. continues to attract immigrants from around the world, it will undoubtedly continue to benefit from the diversity and expertise that these communities bring. In addition to the contributions of Pakistani and Indian immigrants to American society, it is important to recognize the challenges that they face. Both communities have experienced discrimination and bias in various forms, including racial profiling, hate crimes, and negative stereotypes. Pakistani and Indian immigrants have been subjected to heightened scrutiny in the aftermath of terrorist attacks, particularly those carried out by Islamic extremists. This has led to increased suspicion and hostility towards Muslim communities, including Pakistanis and Indians who may or may not be Muslim. Furthermore, many Pakistani and Indian immigrants have faced barriers to accessing education and employment opportunities due to their immigrant status or cultural background. This can lead to a lack of social and economic mobility, which can perpetuate systemic inequalities. It is important for the U.S. to address these issues and work towards creating a more inclusive society. This includes taking steps to combat discrimination and bias, promoting diversity and cultural understanding, and providing access to education and employment opportunities for all immigrants. One way to address these challenges is through community outreach and engagement. Organizations such as the South Asian American Policy and Research Institute and the Pakistani American Council have been established to advocate for the needs and interests of Pakistani and Indian immigrants and provide support for these communities. Additionally, programs and initiatives that promote diversity and inclusion in education and employment can help to reduce the barriers faced by Pakistani and Indian immigrants. This can include initiatives such as scholarships and mentorship programs for immigrant students, and diversity and inclusion training for employers and hiring managers. Another important aspect of creating a more inclusive society is to recognize and celebrate the contributions of Pakistani and Indian immigrants to American culture and society. This can include promoting cultural awareness and understanding, highlighting the achievements of immigrants in various fields, and celebrating cultural events and holidays. In conclusion, Pakistani and Indian immigrants have made significant contributions to American society, particularly in the areas of medicine, law, and business. However, they also face challenges such as discrimination and bias, which can hinder their social and economic mobility. Addressing these challenges requires a commitment to promoting diversity and inclusion, and recognizing the contributions of all immigrants to American society. In addition to community outreach and initiatives promoting diversity and inclusion, there are also policy changes that can be made to address the challenges faced by Pakistani and Indian immigrants in the U.S. For example, reforming the immigration system to make it more accessible and efficient can help to reduce the barriers faced by immigrants in accessing education and employment opportunities. In particular, policies that provide a pathway to citizenship for undocumented immigrants and reforms to the H-1B visa program can help to increase social and economic mobility for Pakistani and Indian immigrants. The H-1B visa program allows employers to hire skilled foreign workers for specialized positions, but the program has faced criticism for being exploitative and creating a system of indentured labor. Reforming the program to provide more protections for workers and increase the number of visas available can help to address these issues. Additionally, policies that provide support for small businesses and entrepreneurs can help to promote economic growth and reduce barriers to entry for Pakistani and Indian immigrants in the business sector. This can include programs that provide funding and technical assistance for immigrant-owned businesses, as well as policies that reduce regulatory barriers and increase access to capital. Overall, creating a more inclusive and welcoming society for Pakistani and Indian immigrants requires a multifaceted approach that addresses the social, economic, and policy barriers they face. By promoting diversity and cultural understanding, providing access to education and employment opportunities, and advocating for policy changes that support immigrant communities, we can create a more equitable and prosperous society for all.